Hey there, friends. My name is Jeff Fritz, and welcome back to this episode in our Get Started with .NET Aspire series. Now, today we're going to take a look at how we can start to add the capabilities to orchestrate and take a look at a dashboard that presents information about our application system or our distributed application that is being managed by .NET Aspire. Check out the previous videos in this series if you have questions about how to get started with .NET Aspire, what you need to install to get started. What is .NET Aspire? They're all available for you in this video series. All right. Now, today, we've got an application that's been built to query the National Weather Service here in the States that we're going to use that already has some service defaults configured from our last episode that we're going to set up to do a little bit of orchestration to manage an API and a web application that communicate with each other. And we're also going to put together a cool little dashboard that allows us to see these web applications communicating with each other, along with some other interesting tidbits that come along the way here. All right. But first, before we get started, check out the GitHub repository. It's linked down below in the description. And we're taking a look at the documentation for episode 3 here, the dashboard-AppHost MD. Now, we want to make sure we cover some common terminology that's used inside of .NET Aspire systems. We're going to talk about an app model. That's a collection of resources that make up your distributed application or your application system. All right. For a more formal definition, we've got a link for you right here. We also have an AppHost or an orchestrator project. This is a .NET project that defines and orchestrates the app model, and it's typically named something.apphost by convention, of course. Now, we also have resources inside of our application system. A resource represents part of the application, whether it's a .NET project, maybe it's a container, an executable, maybe it's some other resource like a database cache or a cloud service that's somewhere out there that you're not managing. Those resources can all be identified and collected and organized together inside of our orchestrator project. Finally, we've got references, and a reference defines a connection between those different resources. And we're going to express that reference as a dependency using with reference API keywords. Okay? Now, for more information, we've got a link for you to learn more about reference resources. All right? Now, let's get started by creating an AppHost project. Now, I'm using Visual Studio Code here. If you're using Visual Studio, there's a great little user interface for adding projects to your solution. You can go ahead and do that by saying Add New Project. This interface appears, and you want to choose the .NET Aspire AppHost. In Visual Studio Code, you can also create a new .NET project. Use that at the command palette, and you can choose a .NET Aspire AppHost for .NET Aspire. Now that's okay. That's a good start. But I'm going to do this at the command line because I want to make sure that everybody has a similar experience. I'm going to grab this command right here, .NET New Aspire AppHost, and we're going to name it AppHost. I'm going to copy that, go over to my terminal, and in my top panel here, I'll just go up a folder and we'll paste that in so it's sitting right next to my other projects. And it's going to create that little AppHost project for me. If we take a look at the folders, you'll see there's my API, there's AppHost, my Weather Hub, that's the website, and of course service defaults, that's the project that we added last time. All right, let me head back over. Before I head over, let's add our AppHost into our solution, of course. So we'll do .NET SLN add AppHost. There we go. And now that project is part of the larger .NET solution. And that helps to keep things organized when I'm in Visual Studio or Visual Studio Code and I want to see all of my related projects next to each other. So my API, my AppHost, my Weather Hub, and service defaults. If I go into AppHost now, you'll see I've got dependencies, properties, an app settings JSON, and then a program CS file here. And it has just 2 lines in it. Not too exciting just yet. But we're going to add some project references to our AppHost so that it knows those resources that it can interact with that are also in the solution. We want to add references to the API and the Weather Hub projects so it knows what those are and how to orchestrate those. Now, if you're in Visual Studio 2022, you can right-click and add references, or you can even drag and drop one project onto the other so that you add a reference from the API project and from the Weather Hub project into the AppHost. I'm going to do this at the command line, though, because I like to type a little bit. I'm in the root project here, the root folder here. I'm going to go down into AppHost, and we will .NET add reference, and we're going to tell it to add a reference to the API project right there. Let's do that. And now the AppHost knows about the API. Let's do that one more time, but instead of the API, we're going to add a reference to my Weather Hub. And now AppHost knows about both of these projects. We can confirm that by taking a look in AppHost CS Proj, and if we let it go down to the bottom there, you see the 2 project reference elements here for API and My Weather Hub. It knows about those other projects now. If we look back at our documentation, the next step we want to do is start to orchestrate the application. Let's let the AppHost start each of those 2 pieces, those 2 projects in our application system and manage those. So we'll specify var API equals, and we'll connect to the API with this command, and we'll reference the Weather Hub with that command. I'll just copy those 2 lines of code and paste them in right here. So what's this doing? Well, our builder is creating a distributed application builder here and stashing it in a builder variable. Okay. And our distributed application builder is getting a reference to a .NET project. .NET has a special syntax that we can use here, and we're going to specify that it's one of our projects in this solution projects, and it's the project named API. And we can see that in our Solution Explorer right there. We're going to do the same thing just below with My Weather Hub, projects.myweatherhub. The name API here in quotes and My Weather Hub here in quotes, that's a string that we're going to be able to use to reference this almost like a host name elsewhere in our application system, right? We can give it any name we want so we can reference and connect to that part of the application. Let's start the application the way it is right now and interact with those. But here's the thing. I don't need these 2 panels in my terminal. Now that my AppHost knows about the 2 different projects in the solution, I don't need this one. Inside my AppHost folder here, I can just .NET run, and it will actually start both projects. Check this out. I get a link to my dashboard right here that I can open, and I'm in the .NET Aspire dashboard. Look at this thing. It's beautiful. Okay. It's pretty simple at this point, but it knows about my 2 projects right there. There's my API, right? That API there is the name that I gave it in quotes, and My Weather Hub, and it's hiding right there. There you go, is right there. And I have the endpoints for them declared right here that we can connect into and take a look at. Look at that. Localhost 7032 Swagger, localhost 7274. And if I click into it, there's my Swagger API. If I click into the other one, there's my weather reports. And it's still bringing back and showing me the weather that I had before here. Check this out. I'm clicking into these, and I can see the weather loading, and oh, that one's taking a little bit longer, but eventually it loads. The dashboard allows me to see and interact with the logs for these services. It's not sitting here at the terminal, but it's sitting on the dashboard for me to be able to explore and take a look at. Check this out. I have a logs button over here for each of the two services. So I'll click into that, and I can see that exact same console being reported in this web interface that I can dive around and I could see there was an error right there. But that's a pain in the neck to have to search through and find. And this is where Open Telemetry comes in. When we started building the application a little bit ago, and we added the service defaults in our previous episode, it also takes these and exports these logs with Open Telemetry to somewhere that might be listening for it. And when we set up the AppHost project will receive that telemetry and keep a rolling buffer of that content inside the dashboard. So I can come over here to my structured logs, and I can take a look and find warnings and errors and drill immediately into those interactions. And I can even view the details down here at the bottom and see exactly what the errors are and take a look further at what happened in there. There's my exception that was thrown that we can learn a little bit more about. This is just the beginning of what we can do with this. Because now that we have the two projects identified and the AppHost is managing it, now we can also get them connected to each other and do a little bit of service discovery. We can also see how these two applications communicated with each other in some distributed logs if we take a look at the traces over here on the left. Now, take a look at all of these. We've got log information coming in from My Weather Hub and from the API that we can drill into and see what's going on. Look at that. We see that there was a request to My Weather Hub, and it made a request to the API, and then it further made a request out to API Weather Gov. And we can see exactly how long those steps took. If we back up here, we can even drill into that error, and we can see exactly where the request was, and there's the error scenario down at the bottom. So we've got a tremendous amount of insight that we have into how our application is working using these distributed logs. I even get OpenTelemetry metrics being logged for me. So if we take a look at the API over here, I can even see a graph that shows the number of exceptions that were thrown by the application. And I can bounce over to the weather application, and I can see how many active requests are coming through to the application. I can see how long those requests took to process. There's nothing that's taking a long time to process right now. But if I go up here and request something else, I'll be able to see another request come online here in just a second that shows that it was processing and working with that data and showing information on the website. And you can see it slowly starting to crawl in here and present information about how the website is working. Really great stuff. And at this point, we have our dashboard working, and it's showing some really cool stuff about how these two web applications communicate with each other and interact to present the total solution for My Weather Hub, my little weather service. Now, there's still more that we can do with this as we're going to introduce things like service discovery, and we get ready to deploy this application in the future. I hope you tune in for the rest of the episodes in this series where we take a look at more that we can do with .NET Aspire and how we orchestrate our application. My name is Jeff Fritz. Thanks so much for watching.